Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as a Florida Stone Man. And today I'm going to be teaching you about how you guys can actually track your spiritual gifts. What kind of relevance does this have to anyone who's opening their spiritual gifts? I'm going to tell you right now that when you're actually opening your spiritual gifts, you must track them. You must track them because some gifts that sometimes you don't really know how you opened, or sometimes when they opened, there's a lot of spiritual gifts. There's a lot of gifts that you already have that won't go away, but if you've just gotten lucky and you've opened a specific spiritual gift, because there's a lot of spiritual gifts out there, we haven't even skimmed on just some of the really, I'm going to say actually, yeah, some of the more rare gifts, because some of the gifts that are out there in this world are something that you really have to keep track of how you unlocked and how you're able to continue to develop it, because some people will notice certain parts of the year they're more gifted. Some people will notice they have a gift like right now and then it disappears. I'm not going to be talking about all the spiritual gifts, especially some of the spiritual gifts that I'm not even allowed to talk to you guys about on YouTube or online, because certain spiritual gifts are something I'm never going to talk about, because not online, because certain reasons, like when you're opening actual spiritual gifts, certain spiritual gifts you want to it's good to have, but it's good to keep yourself, because if you share with everyone, then it's not going to be overly beneficial, because people will think you're absolutely nuts. But when it comes to certain spiritual gifts, because there's a whole bunch of gifts, and most people are just faking them online. There is telekinesis, there's aerokinesis, there's all these different kind of kinesises that people accidentally do sometimes, and they just fade off and just disappear. Now, this video will talk about them, and that's the last time I bring that one up, because some of you who are spiritual people on my YouTube channel have accidentally unlocked a few things here and there, and this video is about how to keep what you've unlocked and how to keep it to yourself and how to really tap back into it. So those are some of the more extreme spiritual gifts. They're like what people think are superpowers, but are more scientific than you actually realize. But other spiritual gifts, because there's different gifts resonating with different chakras. So there's chakras associated with air, there's chakras associated with fire, there's chakras associated with ether, there's different chakras associated with different things. And I'd like you guys to do the research on that, because I can't give you all the information on that on here, but I'm going to give you information on how you can really keep some gifts that you really want unlocked. Some of you guys have experienced unlocked gifts before. Like, let's just say you're going to the grocery store and you just flat out notice you're starting to see spirits or angels, and you're not really sure how or why you're noticing or seeing spirits and angels, and you're just seeing things that no one else is seeing, and it never happens again. Like, you're just like, okay, it's gone. Like, the gift cracked open, but you don't really know how it cracked open. You might have accidentally did something, or not taken something. Well, sometimes some people take something, and this is going to be one of those videos as to, it's going to be a lot more extreme when it comes to spiritual knowledge versus other videos, and this is a surprise video for you guys, because this is going to be an awesome video. You guys, some of you who've been messaging me have unlocked certain things, and you're not really trying to keep them, and that's the entire power in keeping a journal. I've been telling you guys to journal stuff. Now, when you guys, and in your spiritual journey, you will crack certain things open by accident. Certain times it will be certain planetary alignments, or when certain planets are doing certain things, and you'll reveal certain aspects about yourself based on whatever planetary weather reacts to your planetary chart, because it's specific. It's very specific. And let's just say one week out of the year you're seeing spirits, ghosts, you're talking to beings no one else can see, and then it's gone. Like, what is that? Like, I didn't do anything wrong for it to go. It's because you might have done something to trigger it, or you might have done something to open it, but you didn't even know it. And a lot of times it's when you guys are dabbling with like incense, or you guys are really into prayer, or like you're meditating a specific way as to how you actually cracked it open. And even with myself and hearing angels, there are certain things that I have done and not really know how I've done it, but I've gone back and done it again, and then I've realized, like, I'm like, I should have written it down, so that I could have remembered how to do it in the future. Because sometimes as spiritual people, we will do things to get certain results, but we don't ever write down the results exactly, and we're not sure how to replicate it, and we think we're just getting lucky, but it's just something you've changed when you meditate, when you're out in public. For example, some of you who burn cinnamon before you meditate will notice there's certain things different. Like you're traveling in different places. Like if you burn sandalwood, you're now in Australia and the astral realm. Like you're astral traveling to Australia by accident, and you're seeing things. I mean, I've done this with going to certain places in Africa. Like I've accidentally astral traveled to certain places in Africa just to do the things that I have burnt before meditation, things that I've burnt before sleep. And there's certain incense, especially the incense from the East, like such as sandalwood. There's certain incense in the East that are very specific to like Indian cultures and stuff like that. But when it comes to just opening your spiritual gifts, certain things will trigger certain things in certain people. It sounds kind of vague. It's kind of this is more of an outlandish topic as to when I was talking about fairies, because I'm getting into some specific information that I don't normally share, but I'm noticing people who are getting crystals from me are having their spiritual gifts opened left and right. It's because when you wear crystals after a certain period of time, you think they stop working when you're wearing them. They just keep cracking new things open randomly, especially when you're wearing them consistently and a new planet enters a new phase, and then boom, your spiritual gifts just kind of pop open and you're not really sure why or how. Well, you were wearing this crystal at this time, at this date. You've noticed this thing happen this place. Maybe you've burned something very specific, a combination of herbs before your meditation. Even roses. Roses will blast open psychic abilities, but only for certain people who have certain gifts of that set already open. So it can be anything. Some of what opens some of your individual spiritual gifts is very specific to you. And this is why you must be documenting it. Keep a journal. Be like, okay, I did this at this time. I tried this in the meditation. This is how I felt before the meditation. This is what I did. This is what I ate. Because you have to document what you eat. Sometimes, and even I've noticed this. For example, when I eat a little bit less, when I go to the gym, this is on a physical level, because when you do eat less, you're able to smell certain things around you. Now, if you've ever been in my TikTok lives, I can smell through the veil. That's the easiest way to say it. If you're in my TikTok lives, then you already know. But I've noticed, because that's just randomly what cracked open with me, is spiritual smell. I'm like, okay, this doesn't make sense. But I've actually gone and backtracked it. I'm like, when I eat less, I notice that I'm smelling more, especially from very far distances. So I'll be talking to people in the gym. I'm like, did you have a barbecue sometime this week? They're like, how did you know? I'm like, because I can smell it. And they're like, well, and then I explained to them the science of just how smell works. Because if you're not aware, when you go into a place where you fast, your smell increases, and it does it on a spiritual level as well. This video is to really get some of you guys documenting stuff, because some of you have some extraordinary spiritual gifts, and I'm not going to talk about some of the extremely major ones on here, because certain gifts should not be put online or revealed. I can't really say why I can't really reveal them, but it's to keep you guys keeping your gifts. But there are certain things you can do. So practice. Let's just say you want to practice on 1 week. You burn cinnamon 1 week. The next week, you burn rosemary. The next week, you may burn even sage. Like, if you know how to burn sage correctly, you're just doing it for the sake of meditation. I don't suggest you burn sage. There's different things you guys can burn as well. There's a giant list. There's ginger. And it depends who your angels are, too. Some of your angels, your spirits, your guides, your ancestors, they like certain things, and they're able to do a little more with other things. I noticed when I burn tobacco, for example, one of my angels loves tobacco. And angels can like certain things as well. They're not worldly, so they don't require it. They're not going to be like, hey, yeah, we're going to need tobacco to do this. You're like, no, it's just nice to have. That's one thing when you're working with angels, is that certain angels will like this dessert item. Like St. Michael the Archangel, he likes dark coffee and he likes fruit, for example. So, and people who have tried to bribe St. Michael the Archangel, they're only fooling themselves, because a being of light, they appreciate offerings. They appreciate things that have been given to them. But they're not going to be like, yeah, you got to put this on the table for me to talk to you. No, that's a spirit. That's a trickster. Most people who have bad intentions do get fooled by lower level entities, and they never actually get to talk to angels. But yeah, this video is very specific to you guys documenting exactly what you're doing, because you guys need to have journals. As spiritual people opening spiritual gifts, I can't stress to you the importance of having a journal. Have several journals. Even if it's journals you write in once, you have to track stuff, because when you don't know stuff is going on, because some of your gifts, I'm telling you right now, your gifts are going to pop open randomly, and some of them will close back up, and you're going to be like, how and why? What did I do? What kind of energy practice did I do today? What kind of what kind of music did I listen to? What kind of frequencies did I hear? What words did I say? Because some words that you say hold a certain power in inviting in more of what you want. So turn that word into an affirmation, or turn it into something you say when you meditate. Maybe you tried bells in meditation one day, and now you notice your teeth, throat chakra connections are opening up, and you're able to unlock certain levels of clairaudience. Just that's an example. If you want to know what the spiritual gifts are, go online and do your own research, because there are a lot of spiritual gifts that are actually real, that a lot of people have and open here and there, but never really know how to fully open them, because when they accidentally open them, they just close back up. Now, for example, a lot of you I've taught to see auras. You can open this gift and you can close a gift. I closed my gift of seeing auras because I thought it was kind of distracting. I'll tell you guys, and there's a lot of spiritual gifts. There's a bucket list of, not bucket list, because someone said, bucket list is bad, don't say bucket list. There's a giant list of spiritual gifts. There's a lot of spiritual gifts. For example, when I was seeing auras, seeing auras is very easy to unlock. All you have to do, and I want you guys to hold out your hand right now. Hold out your hand and start looking around your hand, and start tracing an invisible white line around your hand. And as you kind of focus on it, you're going to notice like little white fuzzies. And if you pay attention to the white fuzzies, they'll start to extend, especially when it's in a black background or a white background. Depends on the person, but that's how you can open one gift. I taught you how to open one gift on here. The gift of seeing auras. Some of you naturally have it, some of you don't. If you don't, you're going to have to work for it, because it's something you're going to have to work for. It might take a year, it might take years, it might happen in one day. But for people who are already seeing auras, they're like, oh, cool, this is awesome. And some people are like, I want to see auras. Well, practice, because practice makes perfect. You might have practiced it by accident in your last life or two, and now you have the gift now because you practiced it back then. Guess what? When you go into your next life, and you're doing right now, you're going to take that gift with you, and it's going to be something you have in the next life. Now, I practiced my gift of opening auras, and it actually cracked open one night on a full moon. I was going for a walk down the pier with my friend, and I was looking at my friend, and I was just like, I was full-fledged. I thought I was tripping. I'm like, okay. And now that I look back on it now, like, why was I seeing auras so heavily that one night? When it was the full moon, it was a certain astrological conditions were opening it. I ate very cleanly at the time. I ate just fish, vegetables, and I was eating a lot less. I still do that now, but that helps open gifts as well. Fasting does help open gifts if you do it correctly. Now, I was just looking at my friend's aura, and I was just like, what is this? What is this? I was just fascinated. I'm just looking all around my friend. I'm like, and my friend's like, what do you see? What's wrong? And I'm like, the stuff around you. And I'm like, what's the stuff around you? And he started flipping out. He's like, what? Just tell me what you see. I'm like, I don't know what I'm seeing. It's all white and it's staticky and it's changing colors. And I'm like, after that, I stopped paying attention to it, and the gift kind of receded and went back into its shell, which it's okay. Some gifts for certain people are going to be fully distracting, like it was for me. And I'm okay with that gift closing, because it helped me focus on other gifts. Because to have all gifts open at once, you're going to be stronger at some gifts versus at others. But that gift was a little distracting, and like not really something that resonated with me as much, just because I was fully distracted by it. I was just like looking all over the place at my friend's aura, and it was just like white, and it had some like purples and golds and like greens and stuff like that. And I'm like, what am I seeing? And I noticed when I talked to other people as well, I would have to focus on the person and not their aura because it was just super distracting. And I'm the kind of person to be like, oh, look at that. Look what's around you. And the person doesn't see it. And they're like, what? What's wrong? What's wrong? So that's just a funny story about how I cracked that gift fully open and just let it go back into its shell. Another gift, and I'll tell you, and I'm sharing with you some of the gifts because you can open gifts and you can close some gifts. Sometimes your guides will close certain gifts. Sometimes it's up to God to close gifts because he's in charge of everything. These gifts are literally gifts. If you're not really sure what spiritual gifts are, they actually come directly from our guides that come directly from God. Because God is the one who allows us to have the spiritual gifts. If you're a bad person, he will take some away. If you ask him, hey, can you kind of like patch us up? He'll patch it up so the gift isn't bothering you as much. I remember there was one time, and there's different kind of empaths. And some people have this gift. This is not a gift I wanted. This is not a gift I desired. And I asked for it to be removed as soon as it popped up. When someone had some kind of health condition or some kind of pain in their body, I would feel it immediately. And I'd be able to tell the person, like, hey, like, you better get your heart checked out because something really off is happening. Or for certain people, and it would be like in the stomach, it would be in lower regions, and it could be in the throat, it could be anywhere. And like, I would just be talking to the person, and I'd feel a major shock of just like random pain, and it would just immediately flee. And I'm like, get your heart checked out. And they're like, how'd you know? And I'm like, because I just felt it. And I'm like, I really sat down and I talked to my guides. I'm like, this gift is a little bit much. I mean, it's turned up all the way, and it was causing distractions. Now, certain people do have, I mean, once it's toned down, and that gift can come to you in clear cognizance. Some people do like having that gift, but I mean, I'm just sharing my personal stories. Everyone's gifts are different. Everyone has different. Some people are empaths. Some people can just detect the energy of the whole room. But to say the least, guys, write all your gifts down. Document everything. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!